Oh, sugar honey iced tea. It's the EAC Show.
Good day, ladies and gents. I'm Emilio A. Colon.
And I am Marcus Mack, and this is the EAC Show coming to you from sunny South Florida with episode 73.
Episode 73, Marcus Mack. We had so much going on this weekend. So much sports. We had baseball. We had basketball. We had NHL. We had soccer. You name it. It was all on. UFC. Everything was going on this weekend, Marcus Mack. It was a gambler's paradise. I did much better this week than I did last week. So I'm happy right now. I'm good. But that's not even the best news, Marcus. The best news was released this morning. We know we are big XFL fans on the show. Yourself, me, Cameron, Omar, Joey. Everybody's big XFL fans. And The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, his ex-wife, and some rich people bought the XFL for $15 million, and we can't be happier.
Some rich people, whatever their names are. Yeah, definitely, man. That's really a big look, man. For a while, that was our biggest thing, man. Oh man, the XFL is gone. Like, we was huge, still are huge, big supporters of the XFL, and to see the XFL to be coming back soon and to be owned by The Rock, I think that's really dope.
First off, let me commend The Rock for showing the great example of, you don't have to separate from a significant other and everything have to be dirty and ruined. He literally does legitimate business with his ex-wife. His ex-wife is hands down, the first owner of an actual league. She's not a sports team owner. She's a owner of a league. So shout out to her. Congratulations, Danny Garcia and her whole team, The Rock, and those rich guys over at Red Bird Financial, whoever you guys are.
Right.
Shout out to them because they literally bought a product, Marcus Mack. And you say that. You have that feeling of the XFL because it was a product that was working.
Yes, it was. So those of you that are listening that don't know the XFL was a company that was owned by, for everyone that knows, we've been under a hurricane watch in South Florida, and this is one of my phones going off right now because of it. So for those of you that don't know, the XFL is a football league that was owned by Vince McMahon, the owner of WWE, and which that started in 2001. Now, it started off to a very slow start, and this year, 2020, was supposed to be the comeback year, right? And unfortunately, when they came back out, giving us that great content that we was looking for, that the next best thing, which people definitely doubted it, but they was giving you NFL quality, you understand, from another league. They came right before the coronavirus hit, and because of the coronavirus, because of the pandemic, it caused for them to go into bankruptcy. Vince McMahon, he tried to wiggle out of it. He tried to wiggle out of it, file for bankruptcy, and maybe even repurchase the league or bring it back. And I guess the bankruptcy court was not going for it. It went on auction, and for $15 million measly dollars, Dwayne Johnson, his wife, and investment firm purchased it.
Ex-wife.
Which, just for the record, they've been doing business together for 10 years after the marriage.
Marcus, when I saw this and I put it out on our social media page, I text everybody. I was getting DMs back and forth. I literally felt like, I'm so excited and I just can't hide it. Yo, you have no idea. The reason why is because many people bashed the XFL. We were even getting bashed with the XFL in the beginning of how much coverage we were doing, the fact that we were creating shows and talking about sports lines and really following these players in detail. And not for nothing, we were onto something before everybody else was. We were following it heavy. We were a big XFL show. We were fans of the product. And when it was set and done and it was over, people were bought in, and COVID-19, that bitch literally came in, 2 jabs, a right hook, a left hook, an uppercut, and destroyed the whole league. But now, Mr. Can you smell what The Rock is right now with the XFL, Marcus Mack.
Yeah, I think what's so crazy is that you just purchased the league for $15 million. I just want to make something very clear, right? The Dallas Cowboys have just been valued at $5.5 billion, right? The New York Yankees, I believe $1.8 billion. Something crazy like that, some random number. So that's just a taste. That's NFL, MLB, and we haven't even gotten into MLS, NBA. We're talking about billions of dollars that's in sports. The XFL was just purchased for $15 million. Now, how many teams are in the XFL?
If I'm not mistaken, it's 8.
8 teams. I think they definitely have shorter times per games.
Right. You got New York.
Right.
You got Tampa. You got DC. You got Seattle. You got St. Louis. You got Dallas. You got Houston and LA. So yeah, it was 8 teams.
Okay. So we talking about the equivalent. Well, that's definitely, it's not even close to the amount of teams, the amount of players, but the viewership went up significantly this year, right?
Absolutely.
Significantly. Their viewership went up significantly. And not only is the talent there, but they're not giving low quality work. We're not talking about, straight to DVD type stuff. We're talking about really quality games. The next thing is just for them to stay consistent, which this COVID pandemic hit, and that really set them up for failure. But as long as they stay consistent, I believe $15 million is like getting in on Amazon before Amazon was Amazon.
Not even that. Let's just keep it real, Marcus Mack. We're both, we have street sense. This is a come up and a half, like real talk.
Definitely.
This is a big come up and a half. This is when literally you get something and you're like, oh, this is nice. Like that's exactly what happened.
It's 14 bricks in that bag? That bag right there?
That one. Yeah.
That one?
That one? All
yeah,
like
definitely.
all legit? Okay, good. Let me get that. Tell Bobby I see him Tuesday.
Man, listen.
It's just like that, honestly. I'm 100% honest with you, Marcus Mack. I'm so ecstatic. I'm so happy. I've had people texting me left and right. They are even happy. They're even excited because you got to understand, other than Shaquille O'Neal, the Rock is a promoting juggernaut. Anything that he puts his name to sells, period. Yeah. I mean, he can't convince his own daughter that he is Maui from, the movie, you know what I'm saying? But he can convince everybody else in the world. He could be like, yo, these are Magic socks, and everybody will buy the Magic socks.
Right. What I will say is this, right? We're looking at an opportunity here for other states to bring in more revenue because there's only 8 teams in the XFL, right?
Right.
But we have states like New York, Texas, California that have way more than one sports team. I mean, in one league. You know what I'm saying?
I don't want to cut you off, Marcus, but I think the XFL is better going into areas where they're going to get more support from smaller places. Like, so for example, when we had the interview with Sean Anderson of the San Francisco Giants, and shout out to him because he's still pitching his ass off for San Francisco. Yep. You can check out the interview we did with him a couple episodes back on our YouTube channel. But Sean said it best. When you play for the Greenville Drive, when he was in the Boston Red Sox organization, everybody goes to those games. So the XFL might be better off going into smaller areas and trying to create that environment to where there's nothing else around. So you have to come watch this. You understand?
Yeah. Well, no, I definitely agree. When I was speaking in reference to these bigger states, I'm just saying that, there's so much money, there's so much revenue to be made all over the country. And when you have states like that with more than one, like LA has the Clippers and the Lakers, you understand? New York has the Mets and the Yankees.
They have more than that. They have the Clippers, the Lakers, Sacramento, Golden State.
The list goes on. You understand what I'm saying? So, my whole thing is that I feel like the XFL at $15 million, that investment right there. Now they bought all the assets. You know what I'm saying? The ink isn't dry completely, but the deal is done. By the end of the month.
Marcus, Danny Garcia, who is the co-owner, which is The Rock's ex-wife, was asked over social media, Was she going to hire all of these staff? Like, was she going to bring all of the staff back that was let go in the XFL? And she absolutely agreed with the idea. So shout out to her if she's going to bring all those people that lost their jobs from something that was working because of COVID-19, that son of a bitch, we can't stand COVID-19. But literally, if Danny Garcia is smart enough to sit there and say, these people were doing the right thing, we're going to bring these people in, and we're literally just going to give them the opportunity to perform and bring a product back to the people that they were enjoying. Shout out to her. Great idea.
Yeah, I definitely think the XFL is a brand that the people can trust. And here at the EAC Show, we are full supporters, always have been, and we will continue to be full supporters of the XFL because I want in. I definitely want to see this grow, bloom, and blossom.
Marcus, the XFL did a great job of holding players accountable instantaneously. If you threw an interception, they were interviewing you. If you fumbled, they were interviewing you. You scored a touchdown, they were interviewing you. You missed a field goal, they were interviewing you. If something went wrong on the field, they were interviewing the coach, trying to figure out what the hell just went wrong. The XFL literally gave us the access that every fan has been begging for. You hear all of the NBA games, you hear the players on the court. You know, some of it's muffled because they're bringing in sound or whatever. But you watch some of these MLS games, or you watch some of these MLB games, and you can hear everything. And that's what people want. Yeah,
definitely. I'm telling you, they was bringing A1 work, A1 content. They was giving you stuff that the people wanted from other leagues. You understand what I'm saying?
And you know what, Marcus? I need to bring my fucking crown back. I need my crown. I posted on social media today when they asked me, you know, when you find out how does it, you know, when the XFL's coming, it feels good. Yeah, because that's how I felt. It felt good.
You left the crown in the studio?
No, I still have it. I got to put that right back on. It needs to go
you got
right
it?
Here. I still got it.
Yeah, man. I'm really happy to hear it because actually they filed for bankruptcy on my birthday. Right? They filed for bankruptcy April 13th.
So I should tell you something.
Yeah. And I remember we had a segment of the show dedicated to our fallen XFL soldiers. For real.
But you know what? I'll be honest with you. I never thought for 1 second that it was going to be the end because of the amount of viewers that they had. You had over 1 million people watching this. Advertisers somewhere out there can sit there and say, we could convert some of these people into actual potential clients. And that's worth something.
I mean, outside of that, I think our biggest hopes was in Vince McMahon. You know what I'm saying? I think that was our biggest hopes. He was like, yo, we knew. Yeah, we knew. He's like, no, he's not going to let this happen like this. And he tried. He definitely tried. But
we love Vince. We love Dana White. You know,
right.
we love certain entrepreneurship type owners. And now we got Mr. Tequila, Mr. Jumanji, Mr. Maui, Mr. Everything under the sun. Kevin Hart, sidekick, whatever you want to call him.
Right.
Literally, he's everything under the sun. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson literally purchased with his group the XFL, and we're going to see XFL football. He's going to go just as ham as he goes on everything else. He's going to go ham on this.
Man, listen, just for the record, before we go on to the next topic, Dwayne Johnson and his ex-wife is definitely divorce goals. If you ain't never have somebody to look at and say, listen, I want to be like them if I get divorced, they are the group.
You want to talk about a level of maturity. Usually when people go through divorces, they're like arguing about what they want or what they want. She was like, man, let's keep doing business. We good. We got our baby. We're going to raise it together. It is what it is. Let's figure out ways to still make money, still be happy, and this, that. Because The Rock, he's married to somebody else with kids with somebody else, but he still does business with his ex-wife. That is beautiful.
Still to this day. And we're talking about very notable movies. The Jumanji, both of them. 1, 2, The Next Level, Rampage, Fast and Furious. The last Fast and Furious, Hobbs and Shaw, she was a director on that. You know, a producer. You know what I'm saying?
Straight situation is perfect. Like, literally, like, we ain't got no problems over here. Like, my wife is good and my baby mom's is good. Like, we straight. They ain't no fighting. They ain't no cat scratching. None of that.
That's a fact. That was plenty of swag on The Rock's behalf. We definitely smell what you cooking, sir.
So excited for the XFL in 2020, 2021. Looking forward to it. And you can check it all out here on the EAC Show. We're going to talk about our sponsor that's been with us from episode 1. This part of the show is brought to you by elcubanosandwichshop.com. Use the promo code EAC and receive discounts on online pickups or delivery orders. Enjoy a cafe con leche or a natural pre-workout shot of that Cuban coffee to start your day. The daily lunch specials and their steak sandwich, I've told you a million times, it's off the hook. Make sure you try it. And that's elcubanosandwichshop.com or 954-906-5110. Remember, use the promo code EAC, and that's El Cubano Sandwich Shop in Coral Springs. Marcus Smack, off of all that exciting XFL news, we have to talk about some MLB news. It was just brought out. Derek Jeter released a statement. He did an interview and basically informed everybody that a lot of these coronavirus positive tests that the Marlins ended up coming up with would almost put a shutdown to Major League Baseball. Even had the commissioner threatening of canceling the whole league if they don't get this in order, was because a lack in judgment on the players. They got very relaxed. They thought they were safe. They didn't have to wear masks. They didn't have to social distance. You know, it was more like players just felt a sense of security. They let their guards down, and they got extremely exposed, Marcus Mack.
I mean, like we said on the last show, man, it's not like the MLB is in a bubble. It's not like they're in a space where they're protected from the rest of the world. It's not like these are not sports players. They're not athletes that the entire world knows of. You understand what I'm saying? Or millions of people around the world knows of. You hold a platform, people are watching you, and you're supposed to know a little bit better. You guys definitely laxed. You let your guard up. I wouldn't say let your guard up. I would say you just got very complacent. You felt like, what's the big deal? No, it is a big deal, because now not only do you, since you stand a chance to infect yourselves, the players around you, and your family, but now we're talking about infecting the rest of the league. You understand what I'm saying? And the biggest thing which I said is so hypocritical. I feel like, the biggest thing was, hey man, we got to test every day, do this, do that. What's the point of testing every day if you're not going to wear your mask? You understand what I'm saying?
I think what happened, Marcus Mack, is, you do develop a little bit of sense of like security and lax when you're at home, because you're constantly coming home every day. You're seeing the same people every day. You understand you're around them all the time. There's no real symptoms. You don't feel no sickness. You get tested, whatever, you're negative. It develops a little bit a sense of, okay, I can relax. But when you're on the road, because this is where this happens. When you're on the road, that is the dumbest mentality to have. I'm literally not going anywhere. I'm going to mask up. I'm going to cover as much as possible. I'm going to stay away from people, because that's the uncertainty of not knowing. You don't know what anybody else has.
And that's a fact. That's a fact.
And he tried to clean it up a little bit. He tried to say, some guys, they weren't clubbing, they weren't partying. They just, one guy went to a teammate's house to go get something to eat. Another guy was just went to go get some coffee. Listen, that's all nonsense. They went out. I know that for a fact.
Which is fine. Go out. Go get something to eat. What we gonna say? Don't get nothing to eat. What we're saying is wear your mask, wash your hands, don't touch your face. When you go out, don't touch random things. We're talking about your life. These athletes, their life is their job. Even on the off season, they're practicing, they're exercising, keeping their bodies right, whether it be exercising or not exercising and relaxing their body. But their body is their job. You understand what I'm saying? And their entire life, especially once you get signed, but once you make that decision to be an athlete, your entire life revolves around a certain lifestyle. You understand what I'm saying? So you essentially are protecting your body.
Agreed. Now listen,
you got to remember that.
Marcus. Not for nothing, Marcus Mack. The Miami Marlins completely, some of those guys used a complete lack of judgment. And some of those guys didn't use no lack of judgment. So we're not blaming all of them. Some of them
definitely not all of them. No.
Right. Some of them were just infected because these other guys wanted to use a poor lack of judgment and they ended up getting it. But that's not here or there. Some of them were just brain dumb and used stupid, made bad choices. And now normally our derelict of the day is Commissioner Manfred. He normally gets that title almost every day, weekly on this show without question. But the derelict of the day, considering the fact that we had the Miami Marlins and all these players test positive, now goes to the players on the St. Louis Cardinals who decided to go to a casino while they were away, and then they get infected. It's like, yo, how dumb can you be?
Man. Exactly. Yeah.
13,
How dumb can you be?
13 people have tested positive on the St. Louis Cardinals. Did you not just learn from the Miami Marlins, you dummies?
You know what? Listen, I don't know what's going on over here in the MLB. I guess they're excited because, you know, they almost got what they wanted. You know, fuck this shit. Fuck it. You know what I mean? Because it's like, yo, what's going on with y'all? And it's only baseball.
Marcus, I think this is what's happening. What's happening is these guys are getting COVID tested. They're coming out negative. They're having a sense of feeling like, okay, I'm negative. I'm good. Let me stay away from these people. Even if they social distance, they're not counting what other people are touching. They're not counting what they're touching. They're not that interaction. They're not.
But a casino?
I mean, yeah, you would think that casinos would literally disinfect completely because they want to drive.
Emilio, we're talking about a place where they handle money all day.
Well, don't get it twisted. Until recently, the Hard Rock and the Coconut Creek Casino were both open and taking poker and taking
That's a fact.
Slots. And they would take. They were fully operating. Ask Joey Benetti. Joey Benetti would tell you he was literally fixing every freaking pool at the Hard Rock, even though nobody was allowed to go in the pool.
Listen, man. Listen, it's really a sad case, and I think my biggest thing is that you know, you guys are not just regular civilians. You guys are athletes with platforms, and people are looking to you guys, and for you guys to be so irresponsible. You understand what I'm saying? This is just a matter of just irresponsibility, man. Irresponsibility because, you know, not only are these people's livelihood, but it's their health as well. You understand?
Agreed.
And like I told you on the last episode, I don't feel like Commissioner Manfred was gonna stop the season. It's too much money on the table.
Not even that it's too much money, Marcus. The good outweighs the bad. It's just the bad travels faster. So, for example, you got a couple of knuckleheads that are not listening, but you got over 30 teams. So you got 2 teams that are literally not listening. When you got 28 teams that are doing the right thing, and all those players are handling stuff, and this, that, and third, and blah, 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 blah. So listen, Commissioner Manfred sees the bigger picture. He gets the bigger picture. You understand?
Oh, does he?
I admire him for sitting there saying he's not a quitter. And he feels like there's no real reason to quit, that some of these stuff is manageable. And the truth is, Marcus, that some of this is manageable if you have willing participants that are willing to follow rules.
So we're definitely pro Manfred today.
Today, yes.
Today. Okay.
Today,
all
yes.
right.
Today. Because he showed some balls. He showed some cojones. He showed some fight.
Man, if it's one thing I know Commissioner Manfred has, he's got cojones. He's got balls the size of Texas, my brother.
It's usually on the other side, though. Honestly, Marcus. And
he has balls. He has balls against the world in any other circumstance. Yeah. In this circumstance, he's working for the people right now. For real, he's for the people.
Agree. He's working for the people because he wants to provide the people what they're enjoying right now, and people are enjoying baseball. But in all actuality, he has to, some way, shape, or form, lay down his foot and say, "Listen, you guys, stop being derelicts of the day and just handle your business."
Which in the beginning, a lot of people was kind of iffy about, you know, we're going to watch baseball. Nobody's going to be in the stands. A lot of people was a lot of iffy about that. And, you know, now that the season's actually started, it's like, oh, wow. Like, okay, there's nobody in the stands, but we're still enjoying it. You understand what I'm saying? And that brings us back. We just want the sport. We love the sport.
Absolutely. And I know you love the sport because you told me you're going to go get a Joe Kelly jersey because you're a big Joe Kelly fan.
Listen,
right now.
Joe Kelly is a mood. He's a mood. What was his face?
You see it all on social media. Marcus Mack social media just blown up with Joe Kelly pictures all day long.
Yo, I'm telling you, Joe Kelly is a mood, man. His mood is so what? It's what? Shoot me.
So, Marcus Mack, before we get into the next topic, I just want to give a huge shout out to Michael Trout and his wife, Jessica. They welcomed the baby boy, Beckham Aaron Trout, to this world the other day. And the crazy part about it is, not for nothing, Marcus Mack, his initials are B-A-T, bat. So I'm pretty sure this kid is already hitting home runs out of the womb. So the next topic, Marcus Mack, we're going to talk about NBA. Talk about a lot of NBA, Marcus. And we're going to really update people on what's going on in the NBA Right now, the Utah Jazz are up 34-31 on the Lakers. Toronto beat Miami earlier. Denver beat OKC. Indiana beat Washington. And New Orleans beat Ja Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies earlier today. Marcus, basketball is back. It's enjoyable. It's literally like I'm just so excited, seriously. Like watching Doris Burke and Mark Jackson and Van Gundy and Mike Breen talk and all this, that, and third. It's really enjoyable to watch, to see LeBron and Giannis and Harden and Westbrook and all these Chris Paul and all these guys out there doing their thing. Shout out to Damian Lillard and Carmelo Anthony. But all of them literally just playing and giving their all. So excited. It's so key without question.
But I mean, the essence of it is the game. That's what we wanted. That's all we wanted. As long as we could be sure that the players, as long as the players can be sure that they can get out on the court and play with 10 people on the court, including the ref, whoever else needs to be around, a minimum of maybe 15 people. As long as we could come out on the court, play ball, 1 quarter, 2 quarter, halftime, 3 quarter, 4th quarter, we out of here. Okay, boom, do that safely. That's the bottom line. And the people just want to see sports. They want to see, even so if they got to see it on TV, which just for the record, the media companies are making tons of dollars right now.
Listen, I'm glad you brought that up. So I had a conversation. I'm not going to say who I had a conversation with, but I had a conversation and we were talking about actual what's going on with all the advertisements that you see all over the court, the field, the bleachers, this, that, and third, whether or not people are doing it with tarps or whether or not people are doing it digitally, because in the MLS, you got a lot of digital. In the NBA, you got a lot of digital. And in the MLB, you got a lot of tarps in the outfield.
Yeah.
And the tarps cover the seats and they have, they have their sponsors on the tarps. There is a lot of money being made right now. I got a figure, Marcus Mack, literally, I promise you, from one, I don't want to say who it is, but I got a figure from one guy who helped me out with this situation and told me that the amount of money that he did in corporate sponsorships this year alone is shocking with the COVID-19 situation.
Yeah. I mean, advertisement, listen, man, you listen. Advertising is key. They say the success of a brand is dictated by its ability to market itself as a brand to the people. You understand? So marketing is key. So how are you going to get yourself out there? Wherever there are eyes and influence, that's where you want to put your brand. You want to keep your brand in the people's face. Bottom line. So if everybody is plastered to the television because we can't get in those stands, where else are we going to put it? And guess what? The advertising fees have gone up.
Now, Marcus, how many times have you actually watched the NBA or any other sport right now lately, and you see the advertisement, you're like, yo, what the hell is that? And then you end up looking it up on your phone. That's exactly what they want.
That's a fact. I mean, listen, why do you think that the Super Bowl is one of the biggest events of the year? One of the highest grossed events of the year. We're talking about millions of dollars in advertising.
Because all eyes is on it.
That's a fact.
All eyes is on it.
Yeah, so we're talking about, you're talking about billions of dollars in advertising fees, in advertising money coming in, and all of this because of the opportunity. We're gonna call it an opportunity. The opportunity that's being placed in front of these businesses to get everybody in one place, okay? Because without a shadow of a doubt, if you had season tickets, they made some kind of package deal for you. Don't worry about it. We're going to make sure you can, from the house, you boom, zoom it in, however you're going to get it. That's why Zoom is making so much money now. Big shout outs to AT&T. They own Warner Brothers and all that. Big shout outs to them. Yeah. So, big shout outs to them because the advertising fees, one of the biggest grossing sports from advertising in the world is NASCAR. People don't even know that. The fact that every single sponsor, you look at a NASCAR track, it's everywhere. It's patches all over the place. You understand what I'm saying? So this is definitely a great opportunity for businesses all over the world.
There's a rumor that some of these NASCAR drivers end up naming their kids after their sponsor. They'd be like, yo, this is Papa, and that's John right there. Papa and John.
This is Wonder. That's bread. That's a fact. Wonder is actually kind of a dope name.
Yo, the viewers and the listeners, a little bit of a heads up. This Friday on F Friday's episode, we're gonna have NFL training combine specialist Johnny Angelo joining us on the show, because we're gonna get into a little bit of this NFL stuff. Because some of this stuff is happening right now. I'm seeing it on social media. I just saw the Denver Broncos. They were desanitizing their whole team. They had them like walk through like a airport scan thing, and while they were walking through, they were spraying mist on their heads to desanitize them. So the NFL, literally, without question, I know 100% you guys are gonna have so many coronavirus cases. It's gonna be outlandish. It's gonna be crazy. But we're gonna have Johnny Angelo literally on the show to discuss some of the things that is going on right now with the NFL, how he feels, no preseason and having no OTAs and a little bit of training camp, like having none of that. How is this really going to work? And some of the things that he's doing to prepare some of his clients for situations in the NFL that are going to end up coming up. So we're going to have him on our Effort Friday episode this weekend, Marcus Mack. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, man. Big shout out to Johnny. We can't wait to talk to him about, his feelings on the league, post-corona. Post-corona, we're definitely going to talk about, player health conditions and stuff like that. Just, preparation for the season, preparation for off season. Why, we're going to talk to him about a lot of stuff, man. Y'all check.
A lot of recovery questions. A lot of
that. Yes, that's a fact. So, big shout outs to Johnny, and we can't wait for that episode. Y'all check it out.
So Marcus Mack, that's going to conclude episode, 72?
73, sir.
73. Episode 73 of the EAC Show. I'm Emilio A. Colon. That is Marcus Mack. The XFL is back, and I'm so excited.
Speculation talk over.
Oh, sugar honey iced tea. It's the EAC Show.